Welcome back. Today we cover six current affairs, sharp, relevant, and exam ready. Let's go. So the Pax Silica, you know, US-led tech alliance. So what happened, right? India has formally joined Pax Silica, a US-led technology alliance, जो कि focus करता है semiconductor manufacturing पे and critical technology supply chains, right? The US alliance includes US, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and now India, with creating an alternative ecosystem to counter China's dominance in chip manufacturing and rare earth processing. Now, why this matters? Now, this matters because semiconductor supply chain alignment. Uh, Semiconductors are the foundation of modern technology, from smartphones to weapon systems, everything. Currently, Taiwan produces 90% of the advanced chips, and China controls rare earth processing, essential for chip manufacturing. Pax Silica aims to diversify manufacturing across the member countries and secure supply of critical minerals, with India positioned as a major assembly and packaging hub. अगर हम decoupling strategy की बात करें तो the alliance is part of the broader US-China tech rivalry. Recent US export controls banned selling advanced chips and chip making equipment to China. Now, Pax Silica formalizes cooperation among democracies to maintain technological edge. For India, this means access to cutting edge semiconductor technology and manufacturing know how previously restricted, but also potential Chinese retaliation through trade measures. अब इसमें क्रिटिकल टेक्नोलॉजी पार्टनरशिप फ्रेमवर्क हमें समझने की जरूरत है कि बियॉन्ड सेमीकंडक्टर पैक्स कवर्स एआई चिप्स, क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, biotechnology, and advanced materials. India contributes a large engineering workforce and growing domestic market. Now, this framework includes joint R&D funding, technology transfer agreements, and coordinated export controls. Now, this connects directly to India's semiconductor mission and PLI schemes for electronics manufacturing. Pax Silica जो है again US-led alliance for semiconductor supply chain resilience and critical technology cooperation. Chip 4 alliance, earlier grouping of US, Taiwan, Japan, South Korea for semiconductor coordination. Technology export controls, restrictions on selling advanced technology to strategic competitors like China. Semiconductor supply chains, global network of companies producing chips from design to manufacturing to packaging. Strategic autonomy, ability to make independent decisions without dependence on any single power. And then IMET framework, तो आप जानते ही हैं, इनिशिएटिव ऑन क्रिटिकल एंड इमर्जिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज गवर्निंग इंडिया यूएस टेक कोऑपरेशन. तो कुरियन जोसेफ रिपोर्ट ऑन फेडरलिज्म को हम देखें तो इसमें है कि द फॉर्मर सुप्रीम कोर्ट Justice Kurian Joseph has submitted a comprehensive report reviewing center-state relations in India. The report examines federal tensions, governors' role, Article 356 misuse, and recommends structural reform to strengthen cooperative federalism based on consultation with states and constitutional experts. Um Now, this matters because, first of all, we have center-state relations framework reviewed, right? The India follows a quasi-federal structure with a strong center. The report builds on the Sarkaria Commission 1988 and Pucci Commission 2010, examining persistent issues like financial devolution, concurrent list legislation where both center and states can make laws, and the emergency provisions. It proposes institutional mechanism for regular interstate consultation beyond the existing interstate council. Now, Article 356 misuse documented, right? Article 356 allows president's rule when state government cannot function per constitution. The Constitution report documents instances where this was used for political purposes to dismiss opposition state governments, violating the SR Bommai Judgment 1994, which held that Article 356 cannot be used arbitrarily. It recommends requiring parliamentary approval before imposition, not after. All right. Again, cooperative federalism roadmap. The report advocates moving from competitive to cooperative federalism, where center and states work as partner rather than rivals. It suggests devolving more taxation power to state, limiting concurrent list subjects, and making GST Council decisions more federal. The timing is significant because recent conflicts between center and opposition rule states over governors, refusing bills, CBI jurisdiction, and centralized schemes bypassing state discretion. Sarkari Commission, again 1988 में आया था ये commission, examining center-state relations and recommending federal balance measures. 356 constitutional provision enabling president's rule when state constitutional machinery fails. Cooperative federalism, principle where state and center collaborate as partners for governance, good governance, right? Concurrent list, seventh schedule of subjects where both parliament and state legislatures can legislate. Governance role, constitutional head of the state, acting on the council of ministers advice and federal structure, division of powers between national and regional governments with constitutional guarantees. Next important news is Belagram Net Zero Village, which is the Belagram in Maharashtra has become India's first certified net zero village, achieving carbon neutrality by balancing emissions uh, with carbon removal. The village of 1,200 people accomplished this through 100% renewable energy adoption, organic farming, eliminating chemical fertilizers, afforestation, absorbing CO2, and waste to energy systems. Now, this matters because the first carbon neutral village model, right? Net zero means total greenhouse gas emissions, equal total removal from the atmosphere. Belagram achieved this without external funding through community participation. Solar panels generate electricity exceeding consumption. Biogas from cattle waste provides cooking fuel, and 5,000 trees planted absorb remaining carbon. Now, this demonstrates climate action is possible at local level without waiting for national policy, right? Then we have the self-sufficiency achieved. That means that the village is disconnected from the state electricity grid entirely, operating on solar microgrids and battery storage. Each household has rooftop solar and biogas digesters. Agricultural pumps run on solar power. Now, this energy independence saved the village 40 lakhs annually in electricity cost while eliminating dependence on coal-fired grid power that generates emissions. Climate action local implementation. India committed to net zero by 2070 at COP26, but implementation happens at village and city level. Belagram's model can be replicated across India's 6.5 lakh villages, particularly with the agriculture, economy, and livestock. The model also addresses rural development, energy access, improves education and health outcomes. Organic farming reduces farmer debt from fertilizer cost, and ecotourism creates income. Net zero village, community achieving carbon neutrality by balancing emissions with equivalent carbon removal, or carbon neutrality, state where greenhouse gas emissions equal removal, resulting in zero net emissions. And renewable energy, power generated from sources that naturally replenish like solar, wind, biomass, etc. Community-led action in local initiatives by villages and cities, reducing emissions without top-down mandates, and green hydrogen, which is hydrogen produced using renewable energy through water electrolysis, and zero carbon fuel. And energy dependence, self-sufficiency in energy supply without dependence on external grids or fossil fuels. Next important news is the negative FDI fourth consecutive month, right? So what happened, right? The foreign direct investment to India turned negative for the fourth consecutive month with outflows exceeding 2.1 billion dollars in January 2026. Foreign companies repatriating more capital than investing fresh funds, marking the longest negative FDI streak since the 1991 balance of payment crisis. बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट न्यूज़ है ये. अगेन फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट आउटफ्लोज कंटिन्यू. The negative FDI happens when the foreign companies withdraw invested capital faster than the new investments come in. This includes disinvestment by existing foreign investors, profit repatriation, and loan repayments to parent companies. Now, unlike portfolio investment, which is volatile stock market money, FDI is supposed to be stable long-term capital. Persistent negative FDI signals deep concerns about India's business environment and growth prospects, right? And then we have the economic confidence crisis signals. FDI as a vote of confidence is in an economy. Negative FDI suggests foreign companies doubt India's growth story. Reasons include FDI. Reasons include tax policy uncertainty after retrospective taxation controversy, regulatory and unpredictability in sectors like e-commerce, fintech, and global factors like U.S. interest rate hikes, making dollar returns attractive. The government points to strong domestic consumption, but foreign investors want policy stability and ease of doing business reforms. Global capital flight to India. This contradicts the narrative that India is a bright spot in global economy. Current account deficit, which measures trade imbalance, is widening as imports exceed exports. Normal FDI finances CAD with both FDI negative and CAD widening. India is drawing down forex reserves, which have fallen. Now, if this continues, rupee depreciates, imports cost rise, and inflation pressure builds. Right. So FDI outflow is the capital moving out of the country as foreign investors withdraw investments. Then capital flight is the rapid exit of the financial assets from the country due to economic or political instability. And current account deficit is the situation where countries' imports of goods and services exceeds its imports. And investment climate is the overall conditions affecting investor confidence, including regulation, taxes, stability. Then ease of doing business is the World Bank ranking measuring regulatory environment for starting and operating businesses. And portfolio investment is the investment in stocks and bonds that can be quickly bought or sold. Uh, then the Chhattisgarh High Court rape definition. The Chhattisgarh High Court, in a significant ruling, has held that the marital rape execution under IPC Section 375 exception 2 violates constitutional guarantees of equality and dignity. The judgment declares that non-consensual sexual intercourse within marriage constitute rape and deserve the same legal treatment as rape outside marriage. Marital rape exemption is challenged, right? So IPC Section 375 defines rape, but Exception 2 states sexual intercourse by a man with his own wife if she is above 15 years is not rape. This colonial era provision assumes a wife's perpetual consent upon marriage. The High Court held this violates Article 14 and Article 21, stating that marriage is not a license for non-consensual sexual acts. Then IPC Section 375, exception scrutinized. The exception creates two classes of women: married and unmarried, without reasonable basis. An unmarried woman can prosecute her rapist, but a married woman suffering identical violation has no remedy under rape law. The High Court noted that 30 countries, including UK, USA, and South Africa, have criminalized marital rape, and India's legal position is an outlier, violating international commitments under CEDAW. Consent in marriage redefined. So judgment clarifies that consent must be ongoing, specific, and freely given. Marital status does not eliminate the requirement of consent for each sexual act. The ruling also addresses the argument that criminalizing marital rape will destabilize families, holding that legal sanction against violence strengthens marriages by ensuring respect and dignity within relationship. So marital rape exception, legal provision that exempting husbands from rape charges for non-consensual sex with wives. IPC Section 375, which is Indian Penal Code provision defining rape and listing exceptions, including marital exceptions. Consent is freely given, specific informed agreement for sexual activity, revocable at any time. Section 2 IPC 375, clause stating sexual intercourse by a man with his wife above 15 years, not rape. Gender justice, again, and equal rights, opportunities, and treatment for all genders, eliminating discrimination and bodily autonomy, right of individual to have control over their own body without external coercion. Then we have the Gujarat parental consent marriage law. So the Gujarat has passed legislation requiring adult individuals to obtain parental consent before marrying, even when both parties are legally above 18 years. So while it is faced with imprisonment up to 3 years, the law faces applies to all marriages, including those under Special Marriage Act and which allows interfaith unions. Now, this matters because first of all, adult autonomy versus family rights. The Constitution recognizes 18 as the age of majority when individuals gain full legal capacity. Article 21 guarantees personal liberty, including the right to marry a person of one choice. Gujarat law subordinates adult autonomy to parental authority, requiring permission even for individuals in their 20s and 30s. Right? Then Article 21, personal liberty curtailed. Right, the Supreme Court in Shafin Jahan versus Ashokan 2018, Shakti Vahini 2018 held that an individual's choice of partner, whether within or outside marriage, is integral to Article 21. Adult citizens have the right to make intimate personal decisions without family or state approval. Gujarat's law directly contradicts this jurisprudence by criminalizing consensual adult marriage without parental consent. Then the anti-conversion law disguised concerns. Right? Critics argue this law targets interfaith marriages, particularly those where the bride or groom converts religion. Similar to UP and Madhya Pradesh anti-conversion laws, Gujarat's provision gives parents veto power over adult children's choices. This disproportionately affects couples from different religious backgrounds who face family opposition, effectively functioning as a restriction on interfaith marriages despite being facially neutral. Parental consent is basically legal requirement to obtain parent or guardian approval before taking certain action. Then Special Marriage Act 1954 law providing civil marriage procedure for couples of different religions or caste. And Article 21 fundamental right to life and personal liberty, including privacy and autonomy. Then right to marry, constitutional freedom to choose marriage partner as aspect of personal liberty. And the love jihad is also in news, which it was basically a controversial term alleging conspiracy of religious conversion through marriage lacks, and most of the time it lacks evidence. And personal freedom is individual autonomy to make choices about intimate personal aspects of life. So I think that's it for today's session. Stay consistent, stay sharp. See you tomorrow. Thank you.